Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Biodiversity and Conservation. I'm Subalakshmi Rao from Ambika Prasad Research Foundation, India, and we are continuing our UGC NET examination series for environmental science subject. And this is 39th part of environmental biology, that is of Unit 3. So today we are going to discuss about some of the ecologically important days or the days that are important for our environment. So let's start. 5th January is normally celebrated as National Bird Day, and it is observed to raise awareness about the birds that are captured or produced in captivity for monetary gain or pleasure. And each year, millions of birds are captured from the wild for commercial use or for human um, um, amusement. But these are actually not correct because these birds they stay in outside of their environment, and due to which they get overwhelmed and they lose interest in their life as they cannot fly and they cannot do anything that they want. So they either die or um, which are caught but kept like that. They fend for themselves how they can release or what will happen about them. We don't know. So we have to act on this day, not only this day, but we have to act to save the birds. And this day focuses on our birds of our nation so that we can save them. These are some of the birds that are um, found. You can also see, you may know some the birds from here like golden oriole, sparrow, bulbul, myna, crow. These are some common birds, but their population is also in severe stress because of our activities. So we have to check that. Now, next is 2nd February. It's celebrated or it's observed as World Wetlands Day. It's celebrated annually to mark the anniversary of the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands, which was signed on 2nd February 1971 to protect the wetland habitats which play a vital role in our life. So they this day is celebrated to raise awareness about wetlands and specifically the critically important role that these endangered ecosystems play in contributing to biodiversity, climate mitigation and adaptation, freshwater availability, world economics, etc. So, wetlands are a necessary part of our life. We depend on them for food. Birds depend on that ecosystem for laying eggs and as well as their food. It provides a best breeding place for them for migratory and as well as local birds. So we have to save and protect our ecosystem so that we can save the birds. And what's interesting is that we are losing wetlands 3 times faster than forests. So, this awareness day seeks to raise national and global awareness about wetlands to reverse their rapid loss and encourage actions to conserve and restore them. Mainly, plastics can be found in these areas. So, it's our work to limit our plastic use or to clean the environment so that we can survive easily. We eat fish from wetlands. Why not? We can save them by picking plastics. Now, the next one is 3rd March. which is celebrated as World Wildlife Day. This is the United Nations International Day to celebrate all the wildlife around the world, and it focuses on the importance of why these wildlife and plants are crucial to all the life on this planet and why loss of habitat is affecting their survival. This date was specifically chosen to cite the Convention on the International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, and it's a global event. uh, it's held every year on 3rd March to celebrate and raise awareness of the world's wild animals and plants and the continued loss of species, habitats, and ecosystems threatens all the life on Earth, including us. People everywhere rely on wildlife and biodiversity based resources to meet their needs, from food to fuel, medicines, housing, and clothing. So, millions of people rely on nature as the source of their livelihood and economic opportunities. So, this day seeks to raise awareness of the vital role of our wildlife has in sustaining the planet. So, we have to conserve our wildlife so that we can stay longer on Earth's surface. Now, the next ecological date is 21st March. It's celebrated as International Day of Forest. It's a worldwide event that celebrates and raises awareness of the importance of all types of forest. And countries are encouraging to undertake local, national, and international efforts to organize activities involving forests and trees, like some tree plantation activities. It can encourage people, starting from children to old, to plant more trees inside the forest, so that we can conserve our forests. Now, next date is 22nd March. It's celebrated as World Water Day. It's held on 22nd March every year since 1993. It is an annual United Nations observance focusing on the importance of fresh water and how we have means human have access to safe water and but we are destroying the water resources. So now 2.2 billion people are living without access to the safe water. It is about taking action to tackle the global water crisis, and the core focus of World Water Day is to support the achievement of Sustainable Development Goal, water and sanitation for all by 2030. So this year, that is 2024, the theme will be leveraging water for peace. Now the next one is 22nd April, Earth Day, and this year's theme is planet versus plastics. As we know, plastics are the foe, or you can say enemy of planet Earth, because as plastics are rising in our environment, we are losing our ecosystems. Every part of our Earth is under threat because of plastics. So this year's theme, Planet versus Plastics, is to end the plastics for the sake of human and planetary health, demanding a 60% reduction in the production of all plastics by 2040 and by widespread awareness on the health risks of plastics, rapidly phasing out all single-use plastics from our environment is the aim of this year's Earth Day. Next ecological date is 11th May and 12th October. These both of these dates are celebrated as World Migratory Bird Day because 11th May is the spring date and 12th October is the fall date. That means there are two phases where summer and winter birds migrate. So summer birds migrate to India on 11th May, towards 11th May, and the winter birds they migrate to India on or about near the date 12th October. So both of these days are celebrated as World Migratory Bird Day, and it is dedicated to the conservation of migratory birds. It's an annual awareness raising um, day where we highlight the need for conservation of migratory birds and their habitats. And each year, people around the world take action and organize public events such as bird festivals, education programs, exhibitions, and bird watching exertions to celebrate the World Migratory Bird Day. And all these activities can also be undertaken at any time on the year because countries or regions observing the peak of migration at different times. But the main days for the international celebrations are on the second Saturday in May and October. And the next date is 17th May, Endangered Species Day. This annual event focuses on the species that are likely to be extinct soon, and there's a possibility that we are losing species before we have even discovered them. So, uh, it the day is a global event that involves celebrating, learning about, and taking action to protect the threatened and endangered species. It is held every year on the Friday in the May, and it has started since 2006. So this day is a day to reflect on the dwindling populations of certain animals and to work together to assist them. So the main reasons for their endangered status is due to exploitation of the environment, depletion of natural resources, habitat loss, and the lack of meaningful climate change action by world leaders. So we have to check all these problems so that we can save the endangered species. And it's important to keep in mind that humans have an unprecedented impact on the planet, which can be detrimental if can have detrimental effects on the existence of other animals. So we have to watch our actions carefully. Now, next date is 22nd May. It's International Day for Biological Diversity. As the global community is called to re-examine our relation with the natural world, we are completely dependent on healthy, vibrant ecosystems for our food, water, shelter, fuel, etc. So this involves respecting, protecting, and repairing our biological wealth. So we have to work on some goals to and create some concrete measures to stop and reverse the loss of nature. So, um, historic agreement signed in December 22, the Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. Uh, it, it it wants to adopt some goals to reverse the loss of nature back to the original or a better form by 2050. Now, next date is 5th June. It's celebrated as World Environment Day, and it is an international day for encouraging worldwide awareness and action to protect our environment. This program is led by United Nations Environment Program (UNEP) and held annually since 1973. And the event has grown to be the largest global platform for environmental outreach. Now, the next ecological day is 8 June, World Oceans Day. For the healthy planet, a healthy ocean is vital for all life on this planet. So, this year's theme, Catalyzing Action for Our Ocean and Climate, aims at campaigning and encouraging our leaders to make the decisions needed to preserve our oceans and make climate action and global warming an urgent priority. So, the day actually is to raise awareness of the major role of oceans in our everyday life. As well as being the lungs of our planet, our oceans are also an important source of food, medicine, and a critical part of biosphere. So the purpose of this environmental occasion is to inform the public of the impact of human actions on the ocean and also to unite the world's population on a project for the sustainable management of the world's oceans. And the next date is 22nd June, World Rainforest Day. So, Rainforest Day actually recognizes the standing healthy forest as one of the most powerful and cost-effective climate change mitigation tools we have, and creates a global movement to protect and restore them. Each year, actually, a summit brings together rainforest guardians to explore solutions for the forest ecosystems under the threat to help conserve our rainforests. The next ecological day is 9th August, International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples. So, actually, previously, the rights of the world's indigenous peoples have been violated, which has become a persistent problem, and sometimes because of a historical burden from their colonization backgrounds, and others because of the contrast with a constantly changing society. So the indigenous peoples are not taken seriously. They are what we say. They can't speak out their words to the world because of some of the problems. So in response to this problem, every 9th August is celebrated as the day for the world's indigenous peoples, and it lets us remember that the indigenous peoples have the right to make their own decisions and carry them out meaningfully and culturally appropriate to them. So it's a day for giving them the right to do anything. It's not just that that particular day they have the right to do anything. It's just that that date makes us remember about them. But they are allowed to do anything they want within the restrictions of their um, community. So we just have to respect them and their decisions. Now, the next date is 7th September, National Threatened Species Days. On 7th September each year, many people stop and reflect on the fact that on the same date in 1936, Australia's Tasmanian tiger, also known as Thylacinus cynocephalus, slipped over the extinction line. And the National Threatened Species Day is a day when we shine a spotlight on all the Australian native animal and plant species that are facing similar fates to that of the Tasmanian tiger. And it's a day for Australian government, their national day, but we have to focus on preserving the threatened species of our country. So on that day, we can also save or we can also think about some ways to save the threatened species. 22nd September, World Rivers Day. It's held annually on the fourth Sunday in September. It is to celebrate our waterways. It focuses on the numerous benefits of our rivers, aims to boost public awareness and promotes better care of rivers worldwide. And the rivers in nearly every nation confront various challenges, and it is only through our active engagement that we can safeguard their well-being in the future. Next date is 7th October, World Habitat Day. On this day, um, it's actually the first Monday of October, and the United Nations World Habitat Day is a day to reflect on the state of our towns and cities and the basic right of all to adequate shelter. It is also intended to remind the world of its collective responsibility for the future of our planet. Um, the last date, but not the least, 14th October, International E-Waste Day. Its um, aim is to raise awareness of the problems of electronic or electrical waste and encourage householders to recycle their electronic waste items. And it is also to make us remember that the electric waste should be properly collected and recycled. So this awareness day aims to halt the cycle of e-waste ending in the landfills. So thank you all. This is from me today.